It only took 3 years, but I did it. I finally upgraded my iPhone from a 14 Pro Max to a 17 Pro Max. I need you to understand a couple things. Number one, having a YouTube channel that was primarily about smartphones and not upgrading every year means that I fell off. The other thing about this is I was into smartphones before I started my YouTube channel. I would upgrade every single year because by and large, you would get something out of it every year. Then we hit a point a couple of years ago, even before the 14 Pro Max, where you didn't get as much year to year. So when I go from this to this, do I see a difference? I'll talk a little bit about the case and everything on this in a minute. But the 14 Pro Max has been my everyday driver ever since it came out. And there was a time when the 15 Pro and Pro Series came out that I said I wasn't going to upgrade. And there were people in the comments that said, no, you're absolutely going to upgrade. I never did. This thing has been with me the entire time. To the point now where the battery, I think life is under 80%. And that was one of the reasons that made me want to upgrade. I did watch the Apple event concerning the iPhone 17 series. I did not watch any of the reviews. So this is my kind of first hands-on with this thing. And to put it into context, I want you to understand all the things I have not experienced because I've only had the 14 Pro Max. I have not experienced USB-C on an iPhone before. I have not experienced Apple Intelligence, although I guess some of you haven't either, even if you did have a phone that supported it. From what I understand, has been very intelligent. So there's that. I haven't experienced any other buttons like the action button in the camera. I don't even know what that is. I've never experienced any of that on an iPhone. And just for context, I've never even seen an iPhone 15 or 16 series at all, like in person, never. I've not seen it. Again, very weird, but here I am from the 14 Pro Max to the 17 Pro Max. And I do want to talk a little bit about some of the things that I actually am kind of looking forward to on this phone. And I'm not going to be doing a whole bunch of follow-ups on this. Is, you know, like I said, I've already kind of moved past the mobile tech space. Not very interesting to me anymore. I'll even tell you, this thing came and it sat on my desk. As soon as it got delivered, I actually left the house. This thing was at my house in the box for like 3.5 hours before I even touched it. This is something that's never happened before. I always used to open it up right away and get excited and all this stuff. I didn't do any of that stuff, dude. I set this thing up. It was a pain in the butt for my authenticator app, which was supposed to save all my authentications in the cloud. And Microsoft decided to turn that off. So now I had to do all my authentications one by one. But I will say that the transfer between the 14 Pro Max to the 17 Pro Max, Apple just has this nailed. They have it nailed down so well. You just put them next to each other. You shine the camera onto the little thing that comes up, and then it just transfers everything over, which is amazing. Also, my eSIM experience was perfect. Like, no problems. I've seen people online complain about this, but literally it was like, do you want to trade your eSIM over? I'm like, yes. And then about 2.5 minutes later, it was done. I didn't have to do anything. That was it. It was like, yes, and that's it. Phone works. I didn't have to do anything. I don't understand why everyone's having problems. Maybe between Android and iPhone. I don't know. But iPhone and iPhone, it was super simple. But I will say one thing. I actually am keeping this iPhone 14 Pro Max. I'm not trading it in or anything. I'm going to have it around just in case something happens with this phone or whatever, which means I have all my logins and stuff still on this phone, which is good because as soon as it did the transfer over, it wanted me to wipe this phone. I think for obvious reasons, you're probably going to sell it or trade it. So they're trying to kind of walk you through that process. But the problem is, like I talked about before with my authentication app for two-factor authentication for all these websites and stuff, if I had done that, I would have been locked out of a lot of accounts because as soon as I installed the authenticator app on here, it wanted to send me the code to my authenticator app, which is over here, which if I didn't have this would not exist. And I would have been locked out of pretty much every single account of every type, bank, social media, everything you can imagine, I'd have been locked out of. So it's a good thing I didn't do that. And just so you know, you should always wait before you wipe your phone. Don't be nasty. You should always wait before you wipe your phone. Just make sure every single thing works. And then if you can, wait a couple of days. I would have done that anyway before I wiped it, just to make sure there's nothing that I would use on the regular that I need the other phone for. So this kind of saved my bacon and it's going to be around anyway. But one of the things I'm actually looking forward to, even though I don't actually need it. I said before this thing is down to like 80% battery life, which is true. The reality is I still get through all day because I rarely leave the house. I don't really leave the house very often. I don't use my phone that often. But when I am out and about, I have noticed if I'm out for a large portion of the day, sometimes towards the end of the day, I'm down to like 20 or so percent battery life. And the one thing I really love about the Apple website, it shows the comparison between whatever phone you're on and like the new phone. And the one thing that stands out is this thing allegedly gets 10 hours more battery life. That's insane. That is, and you know, Apple's been really interesting and very accurate about their battery claims over the last couple of years. they used to say, you might get this many more hours over the previous iPhone, and they've always been accurate. I can guarantee you I will definitely get 10 more hours because this thing is already degraded somewhat. So that part I'm guess I wouldn't even say I'm excited about because again I get through all day anyway, but it is good. It's the one thing that I've said from I don't know 2 or 3 years ago that actually does move the needles. Battery life. Everyone can benefit from battery life, extended battery life. That is where it's at. All the other things like the cameras and stuff. The one thing I do remember from the actual presentation that actually really impressed me was the front facing cam being able to do normal pictures by holding it in portrait mode. I love that. Please do that on the back cameras, Apple, please. They're calling it Center Stage, and I like Center Stage. I have it on my iPad Pro, I think. And I think it's a cool feature, but I didn't even think about the fact that like you could use it for like wide angle pictures, which is amazing. So I feel like they need to do something like that on the back, so you can just hold your phone in portrait and still get a wide angle pictures. I've been wanting for this for years. I just didn't know how you would technologically do it, but they did it, which is great. I'm sure Android's done it for years. Don't bother with that. I don't care about any of that. Also, these new buttons, I'm kind of curious how I'm going to use them or if I ever will use them. I don't really know exactly how they work. I know, again, this is kind of crazy. I'm literally using a phone for the first time with features that I've just never used before. I feel like a monkey or something. I'm obviously down to average consumer. One thing I do want to check, and I'm going to check it right now in real time. I haven't checked this beforehand, is with the integration of Apple Intelligence and ChatGPT, allegedly Siri is better. Now, if you've been on the channel for a while, you may have seen me do these videos where I tested Siri from questions that it hadn't answered when it launched. So there were questions you could Google that Siri couldn't answer. And then years later, I asked those same exact questions and it still couldn't answer them. Absolutely wild that they had never fixed. If you're just a product manager on the iPhone and Siri, you would think that you would Google the questions that Siri can't answer and fix those. And they hadn't for years. So let's see what this thing can and can't do. I don't know. I've never used it before. I know how to invoke Siri. So let's see if we can get her to answer anything. Hey Siri, what kind of new features are on this iPhone? Dynamic time, 3D effects on photos, home screen, customizable apps, Apple Intelligence. Okay, that's cool. So it's telling me things. I wish it would have talked to me. Call screening, which is great. I love, but I've had that on the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Hold assist. I'm not sure what that is. Filter number. It seems like most of this stuff is the same. So again, I would have rather it told me that, and I'm sure there's probably a way to do it, but she just put text up, which is one of the things I've always had problems with on for Siri anyway. I'll just tell me this stuff. Don't Google things. I could have done that without you. That's not a feature I'm going to use very often anyway. I tend to like Google search for things. I don't tend to talk to AI about a lot of things. I did try Genmoji. I don't think it looks anything like me. So that's kind of disappointing, but I suppose unsurprising. Let me talk also about the first thing I do whenever I get a phone. I always put a screen protector right on as soon as I get it, because I don't care how many millions of dollars Apple will put into making the thing more durable. The pocket is undefeated. If you put your phone in a pocket, it's getting scratched up to hell within 5 minutes. Like, I know they showed a video of it, them showing how durable it is. I don't care. I've never seen a phone go in a pocket and come out perfect. It just doesn't happen. So a screen protector goes right on. I got this new case. I wanted to keep the color because I like blue. I also, by the way, I don't like the two-tone blue. I wish the blue was more blue, to be perfectly honest, but I'm okay with the kind of toned down blue that's on this thing. I don't really like that two-tone. I wish it was just all this darker color. And finally, I have something that'll match the color of my watch. So it's nice to be back into that situation. But anyway, screen protector on there. And the case that I went with is the same manufacturer as the screen protector I use. It's called Magic John. I never heard of them before. They are, I think, newer on Amazon. And one of the reasons I bought this is not just because I could see the color, but this feature, which protects the actual camera, which I think is great. And also you can use it as a stand. Or they showed in the video for it, you can hold it. I don't know why you'd ever want to do this, but you can. But anyway, I love that protects the cameras, because with the bump, you put it down. I'm worried about that. I'm sure it's not an issue, but it's something that I wanted to get. So there'll be a link for this and the screen protector in the description below. And it feels real nice. Like it's a very smooth feel. As far as cases go, it's not bad. There's other ones out there that'll probably look better, but I think this is what I need for the time being. So battery life is one of the things I'm interested in. I like that there's additional performance, I guess, but really, am I ever going to see that difference? You know, going through different apps and opening up things, everything just feels the same, which is unsurprising, which is one of the reasons why I never upgraded all this time. Being able to consolidate down to USB-C is something I am excited about. So I'm glad that I can start getting rid of some of these lightning cables. I can't get rid of all of them, obviously, because I still have other things like iMacs and whatnot, but at least I'll be able to get rid of some of the action cam thing. Looks really cool. I'm interested in maybe, I don't know, getting out and exercising and using that. And the zoom, finally giving me a zoom that's actually kind of cool and actually useful, will be good. So those improvements I am looking forward to. And I do want to see if Apple Intelligence in any way, as far as like helping with notification stuff, actually is helpful. If you have seen that it's helped you out in any way, leave me a comment below, because I'm still trying to learn it all. It is interesting to become basically a average consumer again, and then going through the iPhone like someone who doesn't watch tech content, because I don't really watch mobile tech content anymore. I really don't know what everything this thing can do. I didn't watch any of the videos reviewing it. Maybe I should, I guess. But I'm guessing that if I did, most of the stuff I see that's really cool, I will forget about by tomorrow and probably never use until I upgrade again, which probably won't happen for 4 to 5 more years. I've just become that guy. Like, I don't care. This is more than powerful enough. It's going to do everything I need for many years. I could argue that I could have just taken this to the Apple store, had them put a new battery in, and I'd be fine again for another 3 to 4 years, or at least until they stop supporting this through software, which would be a long time from now. At the end of the day, was it worth it? I mean, no. It's a cool new phone. That's great. Like, if I didn't pay over $1,000 and have to wake up at 5 a.m. to order this thing, maybe I would be more happy about it. It's fine. It'll be good. I'm sure I'll enjoy it, but I could have enjoyed this just as much. And I feel like the length of time between upgrading your phone from what you're at to what is new is starting to get longer and longer. It used to be every year. If you wanted technology that you can actually tell the difference on, you would definitely upgrade the next year. This is 3 years, and I still could have waited. At the end of the day, listen, I'll be happy with this thing, but I mean, who cares? So if you're interested in the screen protector and the screen case, I'll leave a link in the description. Also, on this channel, I'm not really doing any mobile content anymore. I'm doing a lot of PC gaming content. If you like that sort of thing, I got some videos here. You should check them out. Hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.